Welcome to Card Corner. These are the cards. That's the corner. Today I got these Heroes trading cards. The Heroes is a show that came out when I was in university, and it was really one of these shows that Lost paved the way for. I feel like the success of Lost really made it so they were trying a lot of new things with TV to try to make these TV shows where the story sort of like continues. Before that, all these series would be much more like confined to each episode. And also, I remember that Heroes was part of this early day of internet streaming. So this was one of those shows that I watched when I was watching way too much TV. I basically like streamed almost every show that came out. And on my university, they had this like network. So it was like blazing fast. Today you can get some pretty fast speeds just regularly on the internet, but this one was through some like special network. So it was only like other students. But I remember you could download like episodes of Heroes, for example, the day that it came out from someone else that had downloaded it onto the network, and it would take you like 2 seconds. So I've got 2 of Hero and I've got 1 of the Cheerleader, so I'm excited to see what we get. It's sort of this show, if you've never seen it, it kind of borrows a lot from like X-Men, where it's like a lot of different heroes with sort of different powers, but it really focused more on the sort of like personal dramas of them all. So here we have the power of flight revealed. This is, I feel like he was sort of the main character, Peter Petrelli. He had this special ability to basically absorb the powers of the other heroes. So it's the power of flight revealed, and I forget, I don't know why she's on the back. I don't think that she could fly, but this is the first episode, it says, and as characters and concepts are set up, a solar eclipse seen in Japan and America at the same time, which is scientifically impossible, obviously has a bearing on proceedings. Regular character Matt Parkman does not appear in this episode. So it's like, this one looks like it's like trivia about the episodes. And then the front is, atop a city building, Peter Petrelli tests his amazing flying ability. And here on the back, it's split personality. Nikki Sanders earns a living as an internet stripper. I'd say she's one of the ones that I remember the least. In September, it'll be 20 years since Heroes came out. All right, here we've got D.L. Hawkins. I definitely like this style of card over this one. Get a good character card. His first appearance is episode 5. He can walk through walls. A former construction worker and gang leader, D.L. Hawkins is husband to Nikki and father to young Micah. This newly reformed family man has the power to alter his physical tangibility and phase through solid objects, which means he can walk through walls undetected. Pressures on various fronts have prompted DL into life-disrupting action, with Nikki's relentless alter ego Jessica pushing him to unexpected extremes. So that's more in the right direction. I think that, though, we want to get someone like Sylar, Zachary Quintos. He's probably one of the more prolific actors that came out of that show. But we also have, what is her name? Hayden Panettiere. I always get her name pronunciation wrong, but the show sort of like centered around her as this regenerating cheerleader who they got some like vision from this hero, not the show, to save her to like avoid some sort of like a nuclear explosion that kills all of New York. The Texas teenager Claire Bennett has the ability to spontaneously regenerate, a miraculous skill that enables her to heal any wound, serious or minor. The adopted daughter of Noah Bennett and the main focus of Future Heroes Warning, Save the Cheerleader, Save the World. Claire struggles to live with her traumatic gift, even as she joins Heroes' time-tossed crusade to stop a devastating New York City bombing. It's a nice portrait there of her wearing some sharp-looking jacket. And we got another D.L. Hawkins. This one is has a bit more of a foil treatment. Just the back is shiny, and then you got the solid picture there. Collect all 10 foil cards. So we've got the D.L. Hawkins pack so far. Oh, but next up we get Mohinder. And he was this guy who was like studying the heroes or like the different abilities of mutations or whatever. I don't want to say he's like their Professor X, but because he didn't have any powers. His powers are none. And I remember back in the day, people would post this picture as sort of this like almost like random sort of absurd meme where they would just post this and say, "I am Mohinder," in response to whatever people are posting about nonsense on the 2006 internet. Mohinder Suresh is a professor of genetics from India who travels to New York to investigate the mysterious death of his father, Chandra. Probing into the past, he comes into contact with a number of people his father listed as possessing superhuman abilities. Some welcome Suresh's unique expertise, while others view the justice-minded professor as a potential threat. And he was also I believe, the narrator of the show, so they had like bookend each episode with him doing some sort of like narration, telling you what's going on. All right, and here we've got a card for the original pilot, which I don't know if that's the one that I saw. I guess I probably didn't see this one. There are significant differences in this untelevised Heroes pilot, most notably involving tormented artist Isaac Mendez, who winds up cutting off his hand. There is also a subplot involving an engineer with radiation-based powers and ties to a terrorist cell. This character is clearly the forerunner of Ted Sprague, even down to the beloved wife who contracts cancer. Finally, young Micah steals $300 from his babysitter and makes plan to leave New York on his own. On the front, Mohinder checks out his late father's apartment in a scene utilized in the aired pilot Genesis. Some behind-the-scenes stuff there. That's pretty cool. And our last card is Nowhere to Hide. And this is the back of Hero's head, and then this is his like no-power buddy that tags along with him, and I believe that's the love interest. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I can't really remember all the details. The midnight of the show's title refers to the dreaded nuclear explosion. Although Peter and Nikki are not present for the first time in this series, this is Zachary Quinto's initial appearance as Sylar. He was played by stunt doubles in earlier episodes. I didn't know that Sylar came in so late. Although I feel like back then, these sorts of shows also had like more episodes per season. So we didn't get any Sylar in that one, or Hero. Here we get Zugunruhe. So I guess it's most of these cards, I guess, are different episodes. Peter literally takes things into his own hands by completing Isaac's painting. The word Zugunruhe Zugunru Ruhei, I don't know, is identified as a pull of the soul to a far-off place. After parting ways with flying man Nathan, Hero tells him, "Up, up, and away," a phrase popularized in Superman comic books. Hero is definitely the standout character, I would say. Peter was like kind of like one of the main characters. It seemed to center around him mostly, but he was kind of a wiener. And it looks like here he is exploding. Peter's Frightening Fate. The title of the episode, I guess, is Godsend, and Christopher Eccleston provides some offbeat juice as invisible misanthropic hero, borrowing from the name Claude Rains from the actor who played H.G. Wells' transparent protagonist in a 1933 movie. Here is The Fate of New York. So this is a vision from the future where the bomb did go off that they're trying to prevent. But he's stalking or up in the corner. This episode was originally announced by NBC as Like Any Parasite. It was the last show to be broadcast until April when the series resumed. After a brief hiatus, it highlights the vista of a destroyed New York City as observed by Hero and Ando. And then this is attacked by Sylar, a weakened Mohinder tries to warn Peter of impending peril. All right, and here it looks like our foil is the cheerleader, Claire Bennett. Collect all 10. It's probably our best card so far. And here we've got Simone Deveau. I don't know who that is. I sort of forget her. Simone Deveau was an art dealer and gallery owner who found herself romantically involved with painter Isaac Mendez, only to be revolted by his drug addiction. In over her intelligent head, as superhumans and professional antagonists begin to clash, Simone was caught between Peter Petrelli's advances and the jealousy-driven rages of Mendez. It was not a very safe place to be, as she eventually discovers. All right, and we get Showdown at Kirby Plaza. I think that's one of the last episodes. The final showdown of Season 1 takes place at Kirby Plaza, cannily named after legendary comic book artist Jack Kirby. Throughout the series, various nods to comic book culture can be detected, and a guest appearance by famed writer-creator Stan Lee in episode 16, A Life Without Hope, cemented this connection. Front, Peter's glowing hands indicate that he is a nuclear disaster waiting to happen. Back, the destruction of New York City is averted by a conscience-stricken Nathan Petrelli. Yeah, so this, I'm not sure, this is definitely before Iron Man came out, which also had the Stan Lee reference, or cameo, but I can't remember if X-Men or Spider-Man had a cameo, or if this was the first one. All right, here is Radiation Rampage. So these are like special effects cards, I guess. It says special effects down here. Thinking the company is to blame for his ability, Ted Sprague becomes desperate to ascertain the origin of his astonishing radiation power. In the episode Company Man, Ted, in an attempt to corner Noah Bennett, takes the entire Bennett family hostage. The disastrous effects of Ted's power are merely sampled when he loses control and incinerates the Bennett house. And here, also endangered in the same episode is Claire Bennett, whose self-regeneration skills enable her to survive Sprague's flaming attack. All right, last pack. Still no Sylar. All right. Oh, I do remember this as part of the what was her name? Nikki, the Nikki plot. This was her son, and at the end of the episode, you sort of find out that he's got these abilities to talk to machines. So he's like using them to get money out of the ATM and stuff. Christopher Eccleston previously played the popular British TV sci-fi hero Doctor Who, and he reuses Who's famous catchphrase, "Fantastic," in this episode. Another veteran of fantastic television is George Takei, who portrayed Lieutenant Sulu on Star Trek. I did not remember George Takei being in this at all. All right, here we've got the passage of precognition. Here's a Sylar card. The title of this episode refers to the percentage of the world's population that will be lost if New York is hit with the nuclear bomb, an acceptable loss according to Linderman, who in an unusual move also provides the show's opening narration. I think that's probably our favorite card so far. Oh, and here is looks like a cartoon Peter Petrelli. They did make some comic books to go along with this. The astonishing and evocative paintings seen throughout Heroes are presented as the work of precognitive artist Isaac Mendez. In truth, they are the renderings of Tim Sale, a celebrated comic book illustrator. Sale, a winner of comic fandom's prestigious Eisner Award, also designed the panel graphics for Heroes, his own handwriting adapted for the lettering. So this is the painter who can see the future. One of his paintings. All right, we got this card already. The original pilot. Got this card already. It is No Place to Hide. Got this one. We didn't have this one. It's The Hard Part. Determined to stop New York's destruction, Hero and Ando go after Sylar, who is himself rattled by the devastating possibilities depicted in Isaac's renderings. Meanwhile, Nathan is taking surprise steps to win the local election, even his mother is a part of the bombing plan. And Jessica and DL learn exactly how their family fits into Linderman's ruthless schemes. Sylar visits his mother, accidentally terrifies her with the demonstration of his powers, then winds up killing her, finally rendering an Isaac-style picture of annihilated New York using her blood for paint. Ooh, forgot about that one. All right, and our last card is Unexpected. So if I remember correctly, this guy tries to like smack him with a pole, and he just flings it away. After reuniting with Ando and dealing with damsel in distress Hope, Hero asks his best friend to return to Japan and continues on to Las Vegas alone. Mr. Bennett and the Haitian, meanwhile, try unsuccessfully to capture Peter Petrelli and Claude Rains, with Peter whisking himself and his invisible tutor to safety in the clouds. Sylar travels with an unsuspecting Mohinder, kills a new hero, a woman with super hearing, and acquires her power, along with some excruciating headaches. Finally, Peter and Isaac battle each other savagely, with Simone unexpectedly caught in the crossfire. All right, so we did get a couple of doubles. So if you want to trade me for one of these No Place to Hide cards, the information on how to do that is on the About page of my YouTube channel. You can email me and we can work out a trade. Definitely give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I think that our best cards were this Hayden Panettiere, whatever her name is, card. Foil treatment, looks pretty cool. I always like Mohinder. He's a pretty cool character. And then, of course, Sylar. Let me know in the comments which one you liked the best. Take it easy.